Partnered by Times Influence.
A celebration of markets, prospects and new paradigms. 2 full days amongst the most eminent personalities from India's realty sector. Prestige presents NAR-INDIA Convention, the 10th annual convention of NAR-INDIA. The apex national level organization of realtors was held in the city of Bengaluru and presented the perfect platform for realtors from across the country to network and build relations.
BRAI is very pleased and privileged to be able to host this convention for NAR-INDIA. And it's NAR that brings us all together, keeps us all together, makes us work together, do business together. I do hope you will take away something from this session which is good enough to want you to come back again whenever we next hold our convention.
Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, which means I begin in the name of the Almighty. Today at the opening of the 10th NAR-INDIA Convention, it would be a great time to recognize the humble beginnings of this organization. We have grown to begin in the name of the Almighty. Today at the opening of the 10th NAR-INDIA Convention, it would be a great time to recognize the humble beginnings of this organization. We have grown to 46 associations with over 50,000 members across the country who are market leaders in this industry. Every NAR-INDIA meet is a celebration. It is a celebration of markets, prospects, and new paradigms. It is a celebration of realtors getting together, and it is a celebration of networking to make the business of real estate broking global and professional with world standards. The Indian real estate sector is the country's second largest employer and is slated to grow at 30% over the next decade. While you're here, I urge you to network, exchange notes. There's much to be learned from our panelists who will be sharing their thoughts over the next 2 days. I wish you a successful convention and happiness in Bengaluru.
I take this opportunity to thank all of you to be here. There isn't a major city where we don't have an association. There isn't a major event on realty where we are not invited to participate in the country. Over the years, we have faced many challenges, both at the policy level and at the acceptance level, but we soldier on through our various leaders, many of whom are here, and I thank every past president and secretary who has made time to be with us during these 2 days. Have a great convention. Thank you.
As I stand before you in my capacity as President of NAR-INDIA, during the course of last 12 months, I have met you in your city, interacted with you and witnessed the event organized by you. Your association have made a huge difference to the success of NAR-INDIA this year. I hope every delegate present here use the fantastic opportunity to make new friends, establish new contacts and learn as much as possible during the session and panel discussion. Thank you. Jai Hind.
First of all, my congratulations to the organizers, NAR, BRAI, Mr. Farooq Mahmood, Mr. Irshad and his team. There is a boom in our cities, and that is opportunity for all of you. While we are doing what we are doing, what should drive us is just not the monetary benefits that you get of working. It's the satisfaction of the work that you do. It's the meeting of people. It's the thrill of getting a transaction done which you thought was impossible, or the thrill of concluding a transaction is what should drive you. But while we are doing what we are doing, I think there are many questions that we need to ask ourselves, you as realtors, we as developers, and try and see how, when the world is changing, how we also can adapt and adopt ourselves to this change. Thank you.
The network that is being created by NAR, where you have realtors, where you have developers, where you have other people connected with the real estate. I think this is a fantastic idea because NAR is giving a platform to all the people in the country and also people from abroad to interact among themselves, to come on a platform, to share their experiences and expertise, and to work unitedly and to grow unitedly. I think this would be even more better if NAR coordinates with the government, with the people those are working in the government, or the government itself, because ultimately the policies are framed by the government of the day. We should also look at as to how we can cater to the underprivileged section of our society also. We as a government in Karnataka definitely love to be a part of the ongoing development. We also like to be a part of your growth story, and at the same time, we would also like to protect the interests of the poorer and the underprivileged section. With this note, I would like to wish this convention all the very best. I would like to wish NAR all the very best. Thank you so much.
An interactive and informative panel discussion on affordable housing and regulations took center stage at the convention, featuring eminent thought leaders from the real domain.
So the government today is looking at square footage as affordable housing. But the thought process is for the economically weaker sections of society. How does the developer look at affordable housing?
Of late, last year or so, the government has defined affordable housing. They have defined it in the metro cities like Mumbai and New Delhi and places as 40 square meter house. And for the other cities like Bengaluru and other 60 square meters. And they say if with this definition, if a developer is constructing homes, they are entitled, the buyer is entitled to a subsidy on interest. The developer is entitled to tax break like a income tax benefit. So the whole crux of the whole idea is to see that smaller homes are built. But then again, the affordability stuff still remains a question mark. Because what is affordable to you may not be affordable to me, and what is affordable to somebody else can't be affordable to someone else. But one thing that I keep telling our developer fraternity, and I also tell the realtor fraternity, is affordable doesn't mean substandard. Affordable doesn't mean inferior quality.
The last 3 years has brought in a new kind of economy. The new customer is very particular about things. Quality, like he writes, and an uncompromising quality. They are looking at a home as a personal expression. It's an aspirational product. So the new expectation economy, severe pressure on a developer in designing a product. So largely we have become commoditized.
Almost 2/3 of our people who are buying, they are within the age group of 21 to 35. And this is what could be made possible because affordable housing as a concept could be created in the mind of these buyers who would not have purchased.
Affordable is a game of speed, is a game of execution, is a game of standardization, is a game of repetition. One has to give a quality product with all basic infrastructure. If that mindset is there and you can for that kind of speed, I think that's a fantastic business model.
The best example that I've seen closest to India is in Colombia. It's a fabulous example. The living conditions are more or less like India, being a third world country from that perspective. They have done a wonderful job building these social housing or affordable housing. These people were brought out from the slum. They had a training program on how to live in these homes, how to use common amenities, how not to put plastic into toilets, clogged systems. India should learn from this module.
Affordable housing can become affordable only if the land prices are affordable. The effort and the marketing cycle of selling product is also shorter. So therefore, this is an easy product to sell, and it can be done as a mass sale product.
It is equally important that NAR, which is a National Association of Realtors, not only coordinate and come together among themselves, but also they also get the government on the same platform, so that there is proper coordination between the government, between the realtors, investors, builders, and a whole host of people those are involved in the real estate business.
We have requested and asked the people who are there, experts in this industry, to give us solutions for affordable housing, to make the infrastructure better for the city of Bangalore, and how could we decongest the city, because people who have come here from across the globe, they are experts in this field. So we have seek their expertise and solutions so that the government could implement in their process to make this really a happy city.
The vision is actually to get realtors together from all over the country, and we have some from all over the world also. We have about 26 countries representing their countries here today. Get the realtors from all over the country, network together. Today, intercity transactions have increased a lot. So, if I want to do a business in Chennai or Kolkata or Mumbai, so I have a member realtor there where I can network with and do business. So the idea is to network and also, provide quality education to our realtors all over the country.
Yogi Adityanath, words are the words of a rabble-rouser that are historically inaccurate and ignorant. Shows deep-rooted but clear communal bias is demonizing the minorities under a game plan.
Talk about how peaceful things were during 1947, but why do we forget what happened during the 90s? Is the genocide of Hindus and Sikhs in various incidents in the Kashmir Valley not a reality?
Viral Acharya, Deputy Governor of the RBI, warned of dire consequences if the government tried to interfere. That speech was proof enough.
Read the fine print on the reports that even suggested they're only saying that it has been mentioned. There has been, at best, one can say, a threat of invoking it. It has not been invoked by the government.
On the News Hour at 10, The Clash.
Presented by Magic Moments Music Studio. Make every moment a magic moment. Co-presented by ExxonMobil. Energy lives here. Inspired by Haier bottom-mounted refrigerator. Haier inspired living. Co-powered by Cisco wires and cables. Light years ahead.
Travel often by tranquil waters and purple forests, near bright white walls and rocks of orange. In neon cities, on sun-drenched sands, in the middle of everywhere is the heart of somewhere, by icons, landmarks, valleys and skylines, near pillars of glass, and on top of them too. It's the places you've dreamed of, and where dreams come true. When you live for adventure and discover hidden charms, when you're warm on the inside, when it's warm on the outside. Because moments make memories, and faraway places are closer than you think. Going places together with Qatar Airways.
Mr. Kapoor, आपके बिजनेस कंपेटिटर मिस्टर सुनील मेहता की फैक्ट्री नीलाम हो रही है.
No comments. मेरी ही फैक्ट्री के बाहर मुझे बुलाया है. मेरे मुंह पे हंसना है.
नहीं, दिवाली का तोहफा देने.
तुम मेरी फैक्ट्री बचाओगे? क्यों?
अगर मैं रेस में अकेले दौड़ के जीता तो क्या जीता?
इस दिवाली कुछ कर ऐसा दुनिया बनना चाहे तेरे जैसा. Rajnigandha.
Nuclear, the answer to cancer.
When the country makes a century's worth progress in just 20 years, we've progressed. When knowledge is within reach and dreams soar free, we've progressed. When every drop of sweat bears fruit, we've progressed. When help is always near and distances aren't feared, we've progressed. Partnering India on every journey that drives progress for the past 20 years. Bridgestone, your journey, our passion.
Perfection is a journey, not a destination, and the finish line is where the journey begins. Sterling Reserve, chase the next.
The 10th annual convention held by NAR-INDIA focused on the future of Indian real estate and engaged attendees in many activities like bumper lucky draws and engaging motivational speeches.
We live in a competitive world. There are people, there are companies, there are organizations, there are cities. They are hungry. If you're waiting for your opportunity to come to you, it's not going to happen. Success belongs to those that are willing to actually get out of their comfort zone, that are willing to take action. And yet, what I find interesting is smart individuals, smart groups keep on making the same mistake. You know what? The competition has created a new website. Let's create a new website. And then we wonder why everyone is facing the same challenges, the same problems, the same complaints. Everything is the same. You want different results? Think different, do different, be different.
You know, all of us here are giving so much in terms of work, in terms of our family, but do we also take care of ourselves? It's not so much about you only in your role as a business person or as a realtor. It's about you as a human being. If you ever see a painter in action, you'll notice, after a while, they'll step back. You go and ask, what are you doing when you step back? They'll probably tell you, I don't do anything. I just defocus my vision. It's about you as a human being. If you ever see a painter in action, you'll notice, after a while, they'll step back. You go and ask, what are you doing when you step back? They'll probably tell you, I don't do anything. I just defocus my vision. And in defocusing their vision, their trained eye knows what needs attention. In the same way, in our life, if we're too close to the action, you don't get the big picture.
Day 2 of Prestige Presents NAR-INDIA convention saw the discussions continue on the scope of building businesses globally and understanding the changing dynamics in Indian real estate marketing.
USA last year, if I look at the numbers between USA and India, was about $30 billion in real estate sold in both directions. John, tell us a little bit what's happening in your market in California.
The Asian American Pacific Islander demographic in the United States, it's about 22.5 million individuals. It's growing at the fastest percentage. It's increased by 72% from the year 2000 to 2015. Of this 22.5 million, 4.8 are from China. That is kind of broadly known, but 4 million, not that far away from the Chinese, are indeed from India. In 2018, this year, the API purchasing power exceeds $1 trillion US, and it's expected by 2022, it's going to rise to a 1.3 trillion. Of those, by far, from the countries in Asia, those from India have the highest purchasing power. It's $266 billion of that 1 trillion, 27% of that total.
There's a number of factors that will affect India, certainly will affect America. One is the visa issues. Another, issue that keeps me up at night is the whole thing with Brexit. And you sit there and going, why would that affect India? Well, if the European Union collapses, it's a whole new ball game.
The industry in South Africa is worth 7 trillion rand. It contributes towards 15% of the gross domestic product. And yeah, we'd like to shift some of those people to India as well. So great opportunity. I see great developments here.
Miami happens to be, actually was voted one of the happiest cities in the United States. It's also considered the second best city to create startups, especially in the tech industry. And our education system is one of the best in the USA. So we are having a lot of Indian investors. Miami is the most international city in the U.S., so everyone feels welcome. We have over 150 ethnicities and 128 languages. You know, our climate is similar to India, so and it's a wonderful education system. And also, let's not forget that even though we're one of the top 10 cities globally, our prices are about 30 to 40% less than New York City, LA, London, Hong Kong. So we are definitely a great value for investors.
You talk about Leicester or Nottingham or, you know, those cities that most people wouldn't know about. Indian people will say, yeah, my auntie, my uncle, my cousins, my daughter, you know, they live there, they work there. There's a very, very strong old connection between Britain and India, of course.
The main sectors in Texas is gas and oil, which is in Houston and Dallas. But for Austin is high tech. Austin, I think, really can compare with the Bangalore. We are the Silicon Hills. Other than the Silicon Valley in California, the second, third, high tech centered area is one of them is Austin. So we're seeing rapid growth in the last quite a few years, and we have all big companies like Dell, headquarters is Austin. Texas Instrument was in Austin. It's the #1 sector. The Apple, Google, Oracle is expanding. Apple has been expanding for years. So we're seeing a lot of growth.
In our region, we have the ASEAN Real Estate Network Alliance, where President-elect Lim from Malaysia is over here. We form 10 countries together in this ASEAN region. One thing I would like to tell you is that the ASEAN region, we have 10 countries, something similar to Europe. But the thing is, compared to India, the size of ASEAN as a whole, if it is 100%, India is 2/3, 66% only. But ASEAN, we have only 600 million people, whereas in India, you have almost 1.3 billion already. Soon or later, will be surpassing China in the near future.
When I have started my business in 1997, we did not have much technology in hand at that point of time to get our fastest needs of transforming information to the consumers. Previously, we are just a trans advisor. Right now, as a realtor, we are more focused on information-based technologies actually.
We use all the different platforms of technology and as well as the way of communications to reaching this. So I think, yes, that is transformation that we see.
Two major changes that I see in terms of real estate brokerage in the last 3 decades. First point is we never knew that we could make so much of money in real estate brokerage. Great. The second point that I see, today your net worth is your network.
It is not only technology we can look at, the kind of deals, the kind of structuring, the kind of working our buyers need, and that human interface is very important.
There is an IT role which is being played, particularly through digital marketing. Nowadays, 70% of the leads which are coming for new property purchase is through digital lead generation.
सेल करने के लिए मार्केटिंग करना सबसे जरूरी है और आपका यदि मार्केटिंग अच्छा होता है तो आप सेल्स अच्छे से कर पाते हैं. समय के साथ बदलना जरूरी होता है और सभी को बदलना चाहिए, पर आई थिंक रिलेशनशिप पीआर भी पार्ट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, क्योंकि आज हम फेसबुक, गूगल वर्ड, लिंक्डइन पे जब लीड जनरेशन करें, ऐसे ही साथ में जब रिलेशनशिप होता है और पीआर होता है तो उससे जो रेफरेंस का लीड आता है वो भी पार्ट ऑफ बिजनेस.
As the evening came to an end, the NAR-INDIA team wrapped up another successful year of its annual convention.
Roti, kapda aur makan. These are the basic requirement of every human being. And Bangalore city is one of the fastest growing cities in the world. And you know that a lot of people are coming, settling down in Bangalore. Then what is their first requirement is an housing or a job. Both are taken care by these people. As far as developers, realtors, together, they develop so much of facility, infrastructure for workplace and staying houses. So I think it's very good, and this is what the next generation wants. And I was sitting in a session where affordable houses were being discussed, and that is what the future.
There are 2-3 reasons we do this. One is for all our members to connect with each other so they can give multi-city solutions to their clients. The other is to interact with government. As you have seen in the first session, that governments recognize us. It is also an opportunity for us to project to the public at large that they should, what is NAR-INDIA and what they should be, that they should be dealing with our members only.
The convention is basically more for the client, because ultimately servicing the customer, taking care of the customer should be the baseline, should be the key thing in any business, whether it's realty or whichever business, because after all, realtor's business is also a service oriented. A developer, of course, is developing spaces, whether it's residential or workspaces.
The best thing for realtors is the connectivity, networking. They get educated themselves. They see the panel discussions happening right before them, and they meet the leading developers who are partnering with us with this convention. So in that way, the realtors are getting motivated in this convention, hearing the talks of the developers, and they get connected with the developers to do the sales.